And we have 31 people watching. Marty, say hi to all the nice people.
Hi, how's everybody?
Hey guys, how are you? This is Amanda, and what's your name?
Marty, Pace.
Marty Pace. And Marty Pace and I are in Des Moines, Iowa, where all of our machines get made.
Every one of them.
Isn't that fantastic?
Yep, get to see everything go on.
And we did a practice session for over an hour with a laptop and a phone because we wanted to make sure that we had a backup. And of course we needed the backup. So here we go with the backup.
Yep, so now we are just waiting.
Excellent. Well, we have a bunch of people on the call right now, but before we get started, Marty, don't you think it's important to know who's on the call?
Yes.
Let's
absolutely.
find out who's on the call. So I'm going to launch a poll, you guys. So tell me who you are. We want to know who is with us today so that we can target the program a little bit more because we are all about customization. Is that right, Marty?
Yep. You got to customize it to the customer.
That's right. And this poor man, you guys, this poor man, I said, we're going to do a webinar. And how much have I told you?
Not a thing.
I've told you absolutely nothing. I'm a terrible person.
So bear with me.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. All right. Ooh, we have lots of different people here. All right. I'll share the results with everybody. So it looks like about a third of the people have machines, Marty.
Okay.
So the people who have machines, this is the guy. Marty is the service guy, okay? But some of you are still thinking about getting machines, so that's
Your turn.
That's me. That's sales. That's talking about what machines are going to fit you guys best, and we want to show you obviously the units.
Yeah, Marty doesn't know sales.
No. We all have our strengths, right? And then some of the people are industry. Those are probably just the people from our company, the big boss. Hi, Jim. Hello, Jim. We're working. We're in Des Moines. And then there's some people that are just trying to get some information. So I'm going to stop sharing that poll. And I would like to know, for those people who actually have the units or have our units or have some sort of vending that you guys are operating with child nutrition, what kind of units do you have? You can pick more than one. Tell me everything. Do you have some units that you operate? Do you have some units that other people operate? You know who likes to operate the vending machines?
No.
The principals.
Which will love to operate them?
Yeah, in athletic clubs.
Oh.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because they keep all the money.
Oh.
All right, it's all about profits, but
Yeah.
why are people in our wheelhouse, right? We're the ones who are doing food service. We are the ones who are committed to child nutrition, and we know our smart snack standards, Marty.
Yes.
So we know what's supposed to go in the machine. So it just makes sense that food service, nutrition services, dining services is responsible for all of the student nutrition, including vending. Okay, so it looks like for the people who have units, a lot of them have this one, Marty.
The elevator.
The elevator, the refrigerated elevator unit. This is the 3629, folks. If this looks a little bit different than the one you have, let me angle it down a little more. If this looks a little bit different than the one you have, it's because this is the newest model, right, Marty?
Yes.
This is brand new off the factory. We asked them to make one just for us to keep in the training center. And they did it for us because we're a little extra, right?
Yep.
We're
Special.
We are special.
We are special.
Yeah, well, we make ourselves special because we ask them to do things and then they do it. So a couple of housekeeping notes before we continue. Yes, this is being recorded. You will receive the copy of the recording after the webinar, so you will be able to share this with all of your team members or anyone who is interested in getting this information. We also have some question and answers. Since I don't have a separate unit for question and answers, I've got this pop up right over my face. So if you guys can use the Q&A or the chat function, please interrupt us at any time. We want this to be as interactive as possible, and we want to give you all of the information that you're looking for. So if we don't say it, ask the question, we're here for you. I'm gonna stop sharing these results. I'm gonna hide that little screen so I can see lots of questions as they're coming in. Marty, tell us a little bit about this unit.
The elevator machine, it's a cold unit and it can be set for meals or for a la carte. You'd be able to set timers on it for specific times of day for operation. Most of the machines, most all the machines, you could do that as well. This specific machine has got an elevator. We got a key here.
Yeah, we have a key. You know what? Sometimes they hide the keys.
Okay, you got the key.
So we have the keys here. You know, a lot of times they'll put this little tape that says keys to look for the tape. But most of the time it's down here in the coin slot right down there. Right, Marty?
Yes.
Very exciting.
And on the elevator machine, I don't know how far that will go out.
You know what? Can we shut this again? Can
Yes.
we pop this lock? So, all right, we're gonna go back to Scotiabank because there are some people who don't know what this unit is. So we have a couple of different units that we sell to schools. I'm gonna let you watch this while it's going up and down. And this is one of them. This is our most popular unit. It's our refrigerated elevator unit. Our refrigerated elevator unit will vend all of your meals. It will do all of the things that need refrigeration, like yogurt parfaits, Marty. It will vend sandwiches, subs. It can do fully unitized meals. It can do anything that you're looking for. Beverages, yeah, absolutely. And the great thing is what we do with these units is we are fully able to customize these units. So we are able to put together this unit in any way, shape, or form that you're looking for, okay? So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna open this lock, okay? Key goes in. It's because I'm looking at it at an angle, it's not hard. And then you just turn it clockwise, it's gonna pop right out, right, Marty? And that's just like a little latchy thing, right?
Right, you push that in, you'll see the latch.
Latch.
The latch that comes
Do you
out,
see the latch?
and then that hooks into the receiver right here.
So this is the interior of the unit. So, all right, Marty, I'll try to take them through this, but you interrupt me anytime because this is you. So I was the director, right? So I was the crazy person who would call this nice man and say, hey, here's what I need to do with this unit. Here's what I need to do with this unit. Can you talk me through it? And he said, do you want my job? And I said, no, I don't want your job. I never want to do the things you do. And now I work for the company.
Now you're doing
I know.
all the things I do.
And I do a lot of the things. Okay. All right. So we've got a couple of different kinds of trays in here, but the biggest thing that's different for this machine that you guys probably haven't seen, and the reason that this is so different from your just normal vending machine that's at a laundromat that you've seen at the airport, is a couple of things. It's your elevator and your ability to customize this. Right now we have this set up for like chips. These are just like little chip containers, but these ones are nice and wide. And why are these nice and wide? Because we're gonna put some meal containers in here. But what we wanna show you is kind of just the mechanics of the unit while we're sitting here at the factory looking at mechanics. These are just little like red things that like hold it during shipping. Did I hit you in the head?
No.
Oh, okay,
I don't
good.
I
So,
don't think so.
couple of things to look at here. Our machines, the trays are super easy. They just come up, over, they slide out, and then they angle down for short people, Marty, because I'm tiny.
You can see all the way to the back, so you can load the back first.
That's right.
Move forward.
And then these push forward, so you absolutely have FIFO happening here. And these we call, these coils or augers. We have tons of different sizes. Do you know how many sizes we have?
No.
So many.
4s, 5s, 8s, 9s, 10s, 12s, 15s, 18s, 24s, 36.
Absolutely. So what that enables us to do and what we work with you to do is to make sure that whatever you're gonna fit in there, the depth works. These are all movable. We can move these trays over. That's something that we do with you folks. Now, if you already have a unit and you're saying, oh my gosh, I wanna reset up my unit, we can absolutely do that. So you work with me and you work with Marty. And Marty, just turn and face the camera. They wanna see your beautiful smile. Smile at the camera.
Oh, hi.
Smile. So what we can do is we do something called a reconfiguration. You work with me, we do a reconfiguration, and what we do is we virtually, on our end, take apart your machine, and then we decide what you want to do, and then we put everything back together. Then I take my work and I hand it to this man, and he tells me what I did wrong, and then we order the parts for you. So it's a little bit of a 2 to 3 step process. We send you those parts, and you have one of two things that happen. Either you are going to make the changes yourself, or
Send somebody out.
When we send somebody out, because sometimes it's a little bit difficult. Sometimes it takes a couple hours. Sometimes it can take not that long. But Marty, and we wait for the click.
Switch to go back in.
I know.
And if you're mechanically inclined, it's just a phone call. You make a phone call to us. We can walk you through converting the trays.
Marty.
And once you've done one tray,
Mm-hmm.
you can probably go ahead and do the rest of it if you have multiple trays. We're just a phone call away.
And what's really fantastic, if you have the refrigerated elevator unit, you have these metal trays, okay? If it's metal, you're gonna know it. If it's plastic, you're gonna know it. And if you have the metal trays, these coils, again, right? We can send you all different kinds of coils. These just pop out, Marty, right?
Right.
So I'm just gonna put my finger right here and I'm just going to pull forward and look, that pops right out. Pretty easy, huh?
Definitely.
This is an auger coupler, and this auger coupler can be taken off. We can take that off pretty simply, right?
Just spin it.
I hold it like this, and then just so I've got some leverage, and then we spin it, and it pops right out. So we can swap this out, right, Marty?
Different coil.
And we have a 2-minute video. So if you call and say, oh, I just hit myself in the face with that, did you see that?
Yeah.
You know what I would always change is that beef jerky link, because it goes in a 24, which is like really,
Right.
really thin. And there's really nothing else you could fit in a beef jerky bag.
Not much.
So I would always pop these out and swap these around. So to put this back in, I'm just going to, there's a lip that's here on the bottom. If I don't drop it on the floor, there is a double coil. You're going to want to hold it at the 12 o'clock. So that is, look, the little 12 o'clock right here. I'm going to take this auger piece, and there is the little lip right here, and that is going to go down at 6 o'clock. So I'll hold it right here. I'm gonna get real close to you guys. I'm gonna push that in, click it, and then I'm gonna spin it to the opposite side that your coil is, okay? So there you go, and now it's all in there. So the opposite side for your coil. So this coil, I clicked it this way because the coil itself is pointing on this end this way. Did you know that? Yeah, of course you knew that. This is what you do all day. And then, Marty, do you want to show them how easy it is to go back in? What do they do?
When you slide it back up into the tray, you want to make sure that you time it. When we say timing, you want to put back in the same position that it was in when you took it out. And it's going to be opposite. On this end, in this example, you have 2 coils in this selection. So one is pointing over here almost at 7 o'clock. So you're going to have this one over at about 5 o'clock. So they got to be about the same distance and the same setting.
The other way to do that is you can just pop off both coils if you don't know. And the 12 o'clock here, this is what I do, Marty. I make sure that the 12 o'clock here is the 12 o'clock there and pop it back in. I'm at an angle, that's why. And then I can pop the other one out, and I just have to turn it a skosh bit so that this black coil is back at the 12 o'clock, and I'm gonna pop it back in. Marty,
You want to make sure,
I did it.
Yes, you want to make sure that the coil, when you have a dual coil, that the left one is pointing left and the right one is pointing right at the end. If these are reversed, the product will actually move backwards.
we don't want it to go backwards.
Smashes everything.
We want it to go forwards. We want it to vend for the
It's got to
kiddos.
bend it and bend out properly, but yeah, that'll actually reverse it. So those have to be put in the proper way. Left is facing left, right is facing right.
Now, don't worry about all of this, okay? We will configure this at the factory. That's what we do is when you decide that you want a unit with us, we send you a survey. And in that survey, I ask you a billion different things, not a billion, maybe like 60 different products. And I say, what do you want to put in your machine? And when you decide what you want to put in your machine, you then let me know. And then I play Tetris and make this all work. We'll put all of this together at the factory. But keep in mind, guys, we're trying to give you, the basics and a little bit of intermediate stuff here, right? These are some Easter eggs. Do you know what an Easter egg is?
Mm-hmm.
Are you a Swiftie? Oh, okay. That's a different webinar.
Okay.
So then I'm just gonna push this back in, and this actually has, Marty, tell them what this little piece of plastic here is.
It's a tray edge deflector.
Ooh.
Where she was talking about the jacks links or the very, very thin items. The elevator is going to come up to retrieve the item as it's dropped in, but there is a little gap in between the tray and the elevator. And if you have a product that is very, very thin, it can at some point slip between the tray and the elevator, and that'll make it go down to the bottom of the door and not land in the elevator or to be retrieved. So then that product will essentially be lost. Normally when that happens, and we'll get to this more than likely in a little bit, the iVend system will not see that drop, so they won't lose their money or their credits, but still you've got an item that's not being dispensed properly. And this tray edge deflector is a small piece of plastic that you can see that juts out just far enough for the product to land on that and then finish its slide into the elevator.
Yeah, I like it. It's like a little chute, like a little, like chutes and ladders. Do you play that with your grandkids?
No.
No, not yet. Okay.
Not yet.
So that is what this tray edge deflector is. If you have an issue where you open your door and you see sometimes products at the bottom of your door right there, it's because that item maybe slipped right through. So there's a couple of different ways that you can solve it. This is something we put on during the sales process when we're talking to you. When you guys say something like Jack Link's, a cheese stick, when you say something like fruit snacks, something that's super thin, that's going in like a 24 count auger, we're automatically gonna put this in here. But if you guys are currently having an issue with some of your products that are slipping through, there are some pushers that you guys can put on there, and you should have gotten a bag of them in the, actually, hey, guess what? Look at us.
They're there.
Isn't this amazing?
They always pack that stuff up.
You know what? I love our factory. Here you go. You want to show them how easy this is to install?
Depends on what your product's doing. You can have the pusher placed at the top where it'll assist the product in moving farther out at the top, or if it's just getting stuck on the edge at the tray level here, you can place the pusher on the bottom part of the auger. So it can be any place on that auger you need it. But you'll notice that it has like a ridge on the inside. That goes in to the auger. And you just snap it on. You take the pusher and just snap it onto the auger wherever you need it. And then so that will actually then assist the product out a little bit farther from the tray so it can fall and not get stuck up here on the tray itself.
Want to know a secret?
Yeah.
Sometimes I put two.
That's because you're an overachiever.
You know what? I just want to make sure that the kids are going to get their stuff. And the easier that they get their items, the more they're going to purchase and the less they're going to bother me.
I've never even thought about putting two on. So
really?
You one up on me on that.
But maybe I'm not supposed to do that. I'm all kinds of gray lines.
Yeah, I'm like amazed.
But that's what's great about our iVend technology. Again, like we say, this is not your laundromat vending machine. Tell them a little bit about how iVend works. And I'm going to grab some products that we've put in here.
Okay. The iVend system actually is just like a garage door opener in the current garage door openers, where they have a beam at the bottom to where if something gets stuck under there, the door will stop, it won't continue down. That in our vending machines, a product is going to come out of this drawer, out of this tray. It's going to land in your elevator. When it sees that, it breaks the beam and it tells the computer that it has dropped an item. So now it knows it's vended. If it does not go into the elevator, the beam does not get broken, and it knows that nothing was dispensed. And so it's actually, the iVend is called intelligent vending. And if nothing breaks that beam, it will not take your money if you put money in. Mm-hmm. If you put your student ID number in, it won't take your credit off your account because it doesn't sense a drop. And if you're using a credit card, it'll cancel a credit transaction because nothing dispensed. Can
I pause you right there? So that's what's fantastic. If you didn't get your product, you were not charged. I'm gonna say it again. If you didn't get your product, you weren't charged. Now, 9 times out of 10, when a student has a question about a transaction or something that's happening, what they wanna know is, I wanna make sure I didn't get double charged. So we have a great picture, like a Canva, that we can share with you guys that you can put on your vending machine. This has been greatly successful in a lot of our school districts with a QR code. That QR code, we say, set up a Google survey, and in that Google survey, they'll be able to fill that out. And 9 times out of 10, they're saying, hey, I ordered a bag of chips. It got stuck. I just want to make sure I wasn't double charged. It doesn't double charge you. We're just going to make sure that we'll send you an email later. Then they're not coming to the lunch line and bothering folks while they're trying to do what they need to do, which is serve hot food. So let's show them how this works, okay? So I'm gonna cheat a little bit, and I'm gonna put this in service mode so we can do some fun stuff, right?
Okay.
Go ahead, keep talking, Marty.
Okay, do you want to vend something first or not vend?
Let's vend it.
Okay.
Let's do both. Can you keep that shut?
Shut.
So every time you shut the door, it's automatically going to go through a reset. And this elevator right here is going up and down, and what the elevator wants to know is it wants to know where those trays are. So there's a little magnet on the inside, and when we open this up, we'll show you again. But actually, you guys can see those here. Here, I have a tool. So we can see that magnet. See that magnet right there? The green, you guys can't see this laser pointer unless I pointed at you. Sorry. Here's the magnet, here's a 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 magnet. If you don't have 5 magnets, what happens?
Or 6, depends on how many trays.
True story.
So you have to have one of those magnets next to each of the trays that you have in your machine. If the elevator does not sense those magnets as it's going up and down, it knows that it's missing a magnet by the configuration settings. And at that point, it'll take the machine completely out of service.
That's right.
Because the elevator does not know where to go at this point. Those are the actual markers. When the elevator goes up and down, it remembers where that magnet's at. So when it dispenses something from your second tray, the elevator knows to go up to that level. Okay, without the magnets, it doesn't know. That's where it does. That's why it goes up and down one time each time you shut the door. Because it doesn't know whether you've made a change in the configuration or not. Because if you make the change in the configuration, you have to move those magnets. It's going to be reset each time. So when you shut the door, each time that elevator should go up and down one time.
Absolutely.
Now, if it goes up more than once and down, so you get it 2 and 3 times, then it's probably not seeing one or more of the magnets. And then we can get into where you need to look at that if we're going to be doing that to see why it's doing what's doing that.
But if you have an out of service or something is wrong, the first thing we're going to check is those magnets. Now, we talked too long and it came out of service mode. So let's open this door back up. I will show you this though. When we shut the door, it's just like a refrigerator. Yes, these lights are bright. We're working on that. But see this little button right here? This is the button that tells the door that it's open. So we can cheat right now. We're going to cheat real quick, okay? And we're telling the machine that it's open. Guess what is happening? It's going to go up, it's going to go down, but it's not going to see the magnets. So guess what? It's angry. It is very upset with us. So it is going to go up and down again. And it's going to go up and down. It's going to try, how many times, Marty?
Try 3 times.
It's going to try 3 times to find those magnets. And if it does not find those magnets, it says, I'm so sorry, I will not work for you because I am broken. So you can see that if you don't have these magnets here, that you're in trouble. So these magnets have a few prongs on them. If you are missing 1 prong, you're okay. If you're missing 2 prongs, that magnet's going somewhere at some point. So let us know and get those prongs. Okay, I'm gonna pause really quick and answer Jill's question. Jill, can you use the pushers on the lunchbox trays in the bigger slots? Absolutely. Go and grab that manila container that your service manual came in, and you should have some in there. If you don't, let me know. Hey guys, if you put your questions in the question and answer, those are easier for me to go through. Alan wants to know, Alan is a super user, okay? Alan is one of my favorite super users, and he's giving us some more information about putting shorter products in slots. He says, put shorter products in these slots like Cheetos and cheese sticks for the large bags in a 10-15. Large bags of chips. Let me read the whole thing, guys. Large bags of chips that are in like a 10 and a 15. So what he's referring to is these Cheetos that are a little bit thinner so we can get a few more in here. We put these in smaller sections. So normally like a bag of chips will go in a 9 count section. These go in like 12 or 15s. So what he's saying is that in his experience, that sometimes some of those can sort of get stuck. And then he says it'll fall forward enough to trip the garage door, but sometimes it doesn't expense. So you want to put shorter products in these. So he is saying that you also want to take into account the height. But again, that's something that we would absolutely talk about and configure for you guys. So it's not something you really need to know unless you're having a problem. Then you can call Marty, because that's what you do. You fix problems.
I try.
You do a good job too.
Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna do what we wanted to do. We're gonna put it into service mode. I'm going to step back. We are going to show you how this works. And when you go into service mode, there's a lot of different things that you can do in service mode. I'll zoom in a little bit more and show you how we put this in service mode. But for right now, what I want to do is just a test vend. I just want to show you how this item is going to vend out. Okay, so I'm going to test vend, and I'm just going to test vend this number 22, just so you can see how this works. The elevator is going to go up. It's going to read this magnet till it gets the second magnet. See it stop, pushes out, hits that lovely piece, gently lowers down. The baffle comes out to prevent naughty children from reaching into it, and then we're able to take our item out. Isn't that fantastic, Marty?
It's absolutely fantastic. And then after the transaction's done, baffle will move back in, and now that ensures the door is locked where somebody cannot get back in.
Fantastic. So let's do another one. Let's say there's no product in something. A kid fat fingered it. They put 24 and they meant to hit 34. We'll see these spinning. Did it already spin once? It spun once. It didn't dispense. It spun a second time. It waited to see if that came out. At that point, 2 whole items should have come out. So it spins 360, it looks, it spins 360 again, it looks, and then it would display on that, please make another selection. So it's smart, isn't it smart?
And that's the Vend, it's doing that.
Right, absolutely. So a couple of things that you want to keep in mind when you're looking in here, and this is what I tell people, Marty. I tell them that their elevator is their new baby. You know what, let me give you guys a close-up of this elevator right here. Hold on. I don't know if you can see it. So this is the elevator, okay? And I like to say that this is your baby. This elevator, you want to make sure that you are taking good care of. Marty, how many times have you gone into a school and the elevator is all like banged up and like all of this is white, or you can see the metal on this?
There's been plenty of them. I mean, that's one of the main things that happens to the elevator is if it gets damaged, if the base of the elevator, the floor gets bent, it takes the sides and it will actually either move them in or out and displace. And here is where the Vend system, I don't know if you can see both of those or not, but one is a transmitter and one is a receiver. If they get out of alignment by the elevator bucket being bent, that will take it and it will move it in or out, and they have to actually be straight in line. They have to be in line with each other to be read. And so yeah, if it gets damaged, if you have a product that comes out and gets stuck and it sticks in between a tray and the elevator, that can bend it. But the majority of the time that we have issues with elevators is because it has had a product that's gotten jammed, or for some reason the elevator itself has become bent. Because you got to realize too, once that door's open, anybody getting their product out can reach in there, can move it. They can move it accidentally or on purpose. And when they move that, it's on a very strong motor, and when they try to move that, a good portion of the time, the frame is going to bend on the elevator before they can get it to actually move.
Now, we're talking about very specific naughty kids here. So, because when they're opening this door and reaching their hand, they should be reaching right here. if they're putting their hand all the way back and like grabbing this and moving this around or pushing on this or doing something, and that's when you can sort of have an issue. But what I see, Marty, is I see people jamming their carts. So when they're putting their cart here, they're putting their cart right here, and someone hits it or whatever, and that's damaging the elevator. So I tell folks if they have their cart, but they're gonna put their cart on the door handle, okay? Don't let it touch the elevator, just pop it open, or even better, you've got a box where you have the box here at the bottom that's just popping open that door. A case of soda right here works extraordinarily well to keep that door propped open so that you are not damaging your new baby. Her name is Ellie, the elevator.
And it doesn't matter even if you know that the door's open and stays open.
It'll swing.
Okay, and you put your cart in here, you're gonna have, I don't know how many times I've seen this, where a student will come by and they'll push the door. And if they push the door, it's naturally gonna do like Amanda said, it's gonna hit the cart.
Yep.
So you still wanna be able to keep everything away from the arc so that you don't do damage on the inside of it by your cart or any other thing that you're using to load your machine with.
Absolutely. Well, while we have the camera angle down here, let's just kind of open this. You want to tell them what this is, Marty?
This is a compressor unit, the refrigeration unit. What can you say?
Don't touch it.
Yeah, it's one of the things you're going to look at. You know, when you get into this is one box. It comes out very easily, and then if you need to replace it or anything like that, and a new one slides in. Or it can be removed to be repaired very easily. It's one unit. The evaporator area right here, this is where the air blows in through the evaporator coils. It comes out the back and up into the unit and funnels up the back area and then filters through each of the trays. You can't see it from here. There's another area of the unit which is on the back of the machine. You can hear a fan turn on, that's in the back, and that's the condenser area, and that's like on your refrigerator, where you hear your refrigerator turn on and you're getting the hot air blowing out. One of the important things about the machines, you want to make sure you have it at least 4 to 6 inches away from the wall so it can breathe.
And you're talking the back of the unit. So sometimes what the kiddos will do is, yes, I know, there are some naughty children. They'll push the unit, it's super duper heavy. But if they're pushing that unit back, we have to have airflow. So that's very important, Marty. So let's talk about airflow for a second. So he's talking about the air pushing out of the compressor, but let's talk about how the air gets into that, because that's very important. The air is kind of be coming in through a vent on the right bottom side of this unit. I can see it right here because I've got this door nice and wide open. That is coming in through here, and then it is going through a filter. This filter is very important, Marty. And how often should they be changing this filter?
I normally recommend that every 2 months or at least 3 months, you'll look at it.
Okay.
You say sooner?
Oh, no, I say like 6 months.
Well, I'm just saying look at it.
Okay.
Because you gauge it. Each school, each location, the way they clean their floors and stuff like that is going to be different. So after 2 months, if it's clean, then you can change your habit. You can change the times that you're going to be doing it. But I would at least look at it every 2 or 3 months just to make sure you're not going to get it plugged up. Because one time for a week it's plugged up, the machine's going to start not acting right. It's going to affect the cooling operation, and it will damage or can damage the compressor in the unit.
Absolutely.
And we don't want it to run all the time. And then again, you can adjust that. If 2 to 3 months is too often, then just adjust that. Adjust that to whatever's going to be for your location. They normally come with an extra filter in them.
We like you. You get an extra one. Guess what? Super cheap. You want to know what I tell people to do?
Walmart, Office Depot.
Even better, listen to this. Amazon Subscribe and Save. Because you can set the frequency of how often you get your filter. Because I'm not going to remember to look at my filter.
See, I didn't even know Amazon had them.
They do. Okay. They do, because that's where I got them in bulk. And so you can do a subscribe and save so that every 6 months or every 12 months you automatically get your filters, and that reminds you to change your filters. Sorry, something to spell.
Something to spell. Now, the other thing to that, I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, please.
The other thing to that is the grate down below
Mm-hmm.
that Amanda showed you. The same time you're checking your filter, you want to check that grate underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where the airflow comes in, and that's where you're going to get debris from around the room is going to actually be sucked up in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I have had a school one time, their cooling system wouldn't cool down. It would start to cool down, then it stopped. It would go back up, and they had no idea. Well, when I went there, I actually could pull almost a sweatshirt off of that because it had got so much stuff stuck to it. So you really have to watch that, because anything, the solvents and compounds in the air, because you clean your floors all the time in the schools. Okay, it's going to make surfaces a little bit more sticky.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that's going to be airborne is going to stick to these surfaces and build. And you want to make sure you keep that clean. The best way to do that, there's nothing you can really damage under there that's delicate, so you can take a brush,
Mm-hmm.
a real, like a bristle brush. I wouldn't use a metal brush, but a bristle brush, and just wipe it off, just brush it off, and make sure you keep that area clean.
You know what I have? A little handheld vacuum. It's like this big. It's got some brushes, and I use those sometimes because when they're calling me and I'm showing up, there's usually a problem.
Yeah.
So the air is coming into the unit from the outside through there. It's going to be cooled inside your compressor unit. Don't touch this. Guess what? None of you guys are plumbers. None of you guys are HVAC. If you've got something wrong with your compressor unit, that is not something we're going to troubleshoot over the phone with you and ask you to take this apart. You're going to have to come to our service school if you want some more information on that. And I can say that we are having another service school. We have a bunch of folks actually coming tomorrow to start our service school, and we do this every 6 months. They are going to leave this place with a level 1 service technician. We will take apart this compressor unit in the class. So if you're interested in that, the next one is going to be the first week in October. So, but for the most part, don't touch it. We'll send you somebody out. I like this little cubby hole because sometimes I stash products in here. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Not too many.
Yeah.
I know you're just gonna say that, huh?
No, I have no problem with that. But
Okay.
I also caution not to put too much in,
You
because this is where the airflow is at.
Mm-hmm.
Your airflow's in here, it's gonna be sucked into your evaporator. If you have too much stuff in here, it's gonna limit that flow.
Okay, but I did it all the time. But I'm just saying, like, when you have your cart and you have all those beverages in there, you definitely want to make sure that you're stashing a couple of things. Here's another thing that I find sometimes for folks. This is a brand new unit, but sometimes the magnet the top one will click, but not the bottom. We want to wait for the click. We want to make sure that that both magnets are engaged when you shut this door, because we don't want this to be flopping all over the place when we shut the elevator, right, Marty? Because then you're going to have to call Marty and you're going to have a conversation with
That
him.
can jam the elevator.
Sounds good. So now that we're in here, let's talk about service mode. We'll talk about the internal units. Now, when we're talking about the internal pieces of your machine, the only difference between this unit and a unit that is a dry unit is that you would not have your compressor, you would not have your elevator, and you might have, instead of some of these metal trays, you might have some plastic trays. If you have plastic trays, you'll be able to tell the difference. Oh, we didn't talk about this. These two trays that I have here, and the way that I make most elevator units, if you've ever worked with me when you ordered your unit, I almost always make the bottom two trays, they come straight out for two reasons. One is because this allows us to put heavier products on there, like beverages, but also because I'm lazy and I don't want to reach down. So these two, we're going to click both pieces out. There's two little tabs here. You're going to push them towards the outside of the machine, and this is going to slide out. And this is, as you can see right here at your abdomen level, so that we can fill this. We don't want it to angle down because then we're reaching down with a downward motion. So it's like safety and all that jazz.
And they don't angle.
They don't angle. And then you wait for the, ready?
Click.
Click. Wait for the click. Always wait for the click. We need t-shirts that say wait for the click.
And these drawers, the top three drawers that do fold out, they do slide down. Again, I know Amanda showed you this, but you don't want to just let it do this. You want to be able to make sure that you get it over the catch and locked in place. and tug on it to make sure it doesn't come out.
I heard the click. I heard it.
Yeah, if this drawer is out even a half an inch, it can hit the elevator. The elevator coming up is gonna make contact with the drawer. You don't want that naturally, so make sure you hear the click, it goes in, tug on it to make sure that it is secure.
Okay, and this is the power button.
On-off switch, yep.
Yeah, and how do we know it's a power button?
It says power.
It says power right here. It's labeled power. What are these buttons?
Those
I call
are-
them no-no buttons.
Those are breakers.
Yeah, we don't touch those buttons, okay? They're breakers, but they're called no-no buttons. Don't touch the buttons, okay? So these go on, this is how we power a unit on and off. If you call us and we say, did you turn it on and off? We do not mean the plug. We do not want you to touch the plug. We want that to be plugged into the wall and never touch that again, okay? So we want you to open your machine, turn it off, turn it on. Usually that will set the machine to recycle, to reset, and sometimes it will just clear an error that you didn't even know was there. All right, let's talk about the inside of the machine. Now, this interior of the machine is the same, whether you're looking at an elevator unit, whether you're looking at a refrigerated no elevator unit, we have those, or if you have a dry snack machine. The interior, it might be flipped up a little bit, but it's gonna have the same components. Marty, tell us a little bit about these.
On this machine, you have elevator boards on top, and that's the brains for this elevator. The main control board is a larger control board that's on just below that. If you are purchasing a unit that has cash acceptance, you're going to have a bill validator, a coin mechanism. The items you don't see behind here, which you will see from the front, is this machine has a scanner, a card scanner on it, as well as a credit card reader. You can't see those back here, but this is where they would be installed at, and the plug's plugged in on this. The coin mechanism down here would be pointing out with this tab, and that way you can see the front of the coin mech, and then you could you could look at it, make sure everything's okay with it in case you're having a coin problem, coin jam, or what have you. Now, I tell everybody, I mean, I know this is probably not like lesson time, but if you get a machine, if you have a machine and you have done this before, don't do it anymore, please. This coin mechanism sitting out like this, if you're going to take the coin tubes out, take them to a table and fill them, you always want to push this back in and snap it in.
Wait for the click.
Click. If you don't do that, one of the examples we had before for damage is you have a student that says, oh, the door's open because you're somewhere else, and they come by and shut it for you. Your coin mechanism is going to hit the interior of the machine, and it's going to snap both of these sliders off. Those are basically irreparable. You have to replace them.
So, Marty, tell us, we are talking so much because we love this machine so much.
Oh, yeah.
We're running out of time, so I want to make sure that we have plenty of time for questions. So there are sensors in here, right?
No.
So we do not have to do coin fills anymore.
Don't have to do a tube fill. Actually, the manufacturer would like us to, but with these boards, we don't normally do that now. The sensor is actually inside of the coin mechanism itself. So this is a smart device, so it senses when your coins are low. And if your coins get low, you won't be able to use your validator because it cannot give you enough coins back. And one of the things to do the coin fill, everybody is used to older units where you have to do that, cup the change and put it in through the top, and you spill it all over the place most of the time. On these coin cassettes, and I don't know, like Amanda said, I'm not used to this, so on these you have two tabs. I don't know if you can see them very well, but there's two tabs right here. If you press those in towards the center, you can open the flap up on the back of the coin mechanism. Now you can just lay coins in instead of putting them in either one at a time or funneling them in, and it's a little bit more difficult that way. So this way they just get laid in to the coin mechanism. You can shut this back up after you're done, and then put the bottom in first, and then you're going to click at the top in. You hear a click. I know you can't see very well on this one, on this part, but when the coin mech is out, you got a yellow light that's going to flash. That's also going to give you an indication if there's a problem. with the mechanism. If you have problems with it taking coins, you're gonna look at it, and if you see the yellow light flashing, that means there's something wrong with this coin cassette itself. It may have came loose up here, sticking out. There may be something wrong down here or a jam. You just gotta take a look at it and then try to take care of whatever problem there is. And a good portion of the time, you're gonna have to give us a call, and we can lead you through it over the phone on what you need to look at. But make sure that's snapped in, the yellow light will go off. Press the coin mechanism back in and it clicks, and then you can shut the door.
Awesome.
The bottom part right here is where
It's
your coins will be put that you can take out for your deposit. So if they put coins in, somebody puts coins in
and it's full.
and this is full, it's gonna come down into your coin bucket. And then so you're going to remove your dollar bills when you take your money out. Your dollar bills will be removed from the bill box. There's a blue button on top, you push it in, away from you, lift up and out. And then in reverse, you just put it back in and then down.
And if you hear it cycle, you did a good job.
Right. Now, when you're taking the bills out, this will push in. This is a bill plate. This will push in. On the side, you can open this up, push this in, and then you can take your bills out from the side, which is the easiest way to do it. And then put the bill box back on.
And this is the same thing. You kind of get the bottom in and then you click the top down. And if you hear it cycle, you did it correctly.
Right.
I like to say that these two are married. If someone says it's not taking cash, you have a problem with one person, because Marty, you know this, happy wife, happy life, happy hubby. I don't know, I'll figure out something clever for that. But these two are married. If it's not taking bills, it's might have something to do with your coin changer, right? So take a look if you don't have enough coins in there. If it cannot give change, the bill collector is not going to accept money. So that is definitely something that you want to keep in mind. These two are married. If one doesn't work, it might be an issue with the other one.
And this particular information is going to hopefully help those of you who already have machines. If you've got a bill validator where the green lights are not flashing on the front, or you put a bill in, it returns back to you. Put coins in and it goes right straight through the coin return. You're going to first want to take a look, again, bring the coin mech out, using the tab here and pulling out. You're going to want to check the top of the coin mechanism itself. And right here, there's a flap that you can open up. You're going to want to look in and make sure you don't have any coins jammed in here. Because this technically is where the system knows to return money or cancel a transaction. So if you actually put money in, hit the coin return, the button goes down here, that's going to open this flap. That tells the machine to return your money. If you have a jam in here, it's open all the time, right? So that's going to say cancel transaction all the time. So if you put an ID in, student ID, or put money in, or a credit card, or scan a card, whichever device you're using to get your product, it's going to go right back to, please make it, or it's going to go right back to enter cash. So it's canceled the transaction out. And so that's where you want to look at here to make sure you don't have any jams inside this, pushing this door outward.
And that will happen every time a student comes back from spring break and puts Canadian coins in your vending machine.
Yes.
But before we close this door, I want to direct you towards the light. And when I say direct you towards the light, if you're on the phone with us and having an issue with your machine, we want to talk you through it, okay? First off, there is a phone number on the inside. It says VendNet. For customer service, call this phone number, okay? I want you to go into your machine, everybody. I want you to go and I want you to peel this number off, and I want you to take this and crumble it and throw it away. Don't call the factory, okay? You call us. When you call the factory, you're gonna wait online on hold for an hour. They have hundreds of different types of machines. You're gonna call us, well, when I say us, I mean him. You're gonna call Marty. He's gonna talk you through it. He can pull up your machine, he can see it remotely, and we only sell 3 or 4 kinds of machines, so we're gonna be better able to help you, as well as we already have a lot of your serial number and model numbers. But he's gonna say, put it into service mode, and the service mode is this button right up here on the control board, and you can kind of see it. See that reflection right there? That's that red light. follow the light. You follow the light and you wait for the, no, it's not a click, it's a beep. You wait for the beep. I hope you could hear it. But when you put that button into service mode, it's going to go to restock options, and then Marty's gonna tell you to hit a bunch of buttons. The control board with all of that works exactly like an old school computer game where there's left, right, enter, and back. But, Marty, we have given them so much information.
I hope.
So much information. We have people here who are interested in product. We have people who have machines. We want to know what your questions are. We have some questions that have already come in. Let's take some time for questions. Sound good? Okay, great. All right. Can I get a video in the near future to show us how to reconcile cash? Yes, you can. We have some great tutorials. We have a cash reconciliation sheet that will be next in our Vending Excellence series. We can definitely help you with that, anonymous, whoever that was. We can definitely do that. Okay, so someone else has a question on reports. So there is another video that we did last month that was on reports and was on the software side in Vend-ucation. Megan, send me an email and I will send you the link to that webinar from last month, and you can go ahead and watch that. That's going to answer a lot of your questions on reporting. So that's a great question.
Can I add one to that?
Yes.
If you're using Vend-ucation, their software, you can contact Vend-ucation, Hannah or Todd at Vend-ucation. They can set up a report for you that will be automatic. So every week, every 2 weeks, every other day, that particular report will be ran and emailed to your email account. So they can set that up automatically for you as well.
All right, fantastic. So I'm gonna duck down and you're gonna see my face, and I'm sorry. I'm going to put the email address for support. And that is support@vendovation.com. That's for all of your reporting. If you have very specific reporting questions, or if there's a very specific kind of report that you'd like auto-generated, go ahead and send an email over to support, and they will be happy to help you with that. I will also put my email address if anyone would like the information for our last webinar. I did spell that correctly. If anyone would like the link for last month's vending webinar, actually, you know what? I'll just put it in the email. Everyone's gonna get a copy of this recording, so I'm gonna put it in the email so you don't have to email me, but you can email me if you have questions. We'd be so incredibly happy to help you. And then I'm also going to put Marty's contact information. I'll put his email on there for you. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say email him and say, hey, I'm having an issue with my machine, and he's gonna say, great, when can you call me from your unit? Because he doesn't wanna talk to you when you're in the back office, he wants to talk to you when you're at your unit. If you have a specific problem with your unit and you want to if you can take a video and send us to us, videos are worth so much to us. Pictures, we want to see what's happening with your hardware so that we can figure out if it's a hardware issue, we can figure out if it's a software issue, so that we can direct you where you need to go. That's what's great about us, is we are kind of the masterminds, the magicians behind the curtain. We know how to get answers to all of your questions. All right, more. How cold can the vending machine get? The vending machine can get so cold, Angela. If you want to know how cold your machine is at any point in time, we can shut the machine and we hit star. Yes, star, and it will tell you how cold your machine is. But at the factory, we set it to 36.8.
Set point is 36.8.
Yes.
And that will bring it down to, that gives it a range, a 3-degree range up or down from that for it to be operating in. It can get down to 32, 33, because it may go more than the 3 degrees. If it goes up, and that's another feature about these machines and stuff, is that you've got your cold food, your perishable items. There's a health and safety issue, timer on here. we forgot to mention that, but there's a health and
Yeah.
safety on there,
Mhm.
to where if the machine gets above 41 degrees for more than 15 minutes, it will shut the machine down for operation. It'll keep the machine running physically,
Mhm.
but you cannot buy anything out of it until you have somebody that's gonna check it and make sure that the product is still good to use. And you go by your health department or your licensing agency for that. And then also, if you have just filled the machine, if the machine doesn't get below 41 degrees within 30 minutes, it will also go into a health and safety timeout. So yeah, that's another function that these do as far as the temperature ranges and what they have capabilities of.
So a couple of people said they couldn't hear you. I think it was because the compressor unit behind you was picking up. And obviously, guys, the compressor unit was on because we've had this door open for quite a while. And it was saying we need to be colder. So that was fantastic. If anyone has any other questions, I think I've got to everyone that put it in the Q&A. If you put it in the chat, that's a little bit harder for me, but I can take a look. But we are almost out of time for today, and we want to be really respectful of your time. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are here for you in whatever you are looking for. Like I said, this training is something fantastic that we just started back in October. We basically took a full technician training that our factory does for all the technicians across the country that work on their machines. And we threw out all the things that you don't need and put in all the things that you want, plus some extra K-12 relevant items. Yeah. So that is a great training. And like I said, people who leave here, they leave a little certificate, 20 hours of CEU credits, and a lot of parts. We have a lot of prizes, don't we?
Yes, a ton of gifts.
A ton of gifts. Basically, the registration fee is $199. We tell people you leave with all of that in parts. We give you some magnets. We give you some magnet holders. We want you guys to be successful. That's who we are. We are your vending partner. We work with all the point of sale companies. So if you have a change in a point of sale, that we're still your guys. We're still working with you. We want you to feed kids, and this is just another avenue by which to feed kids. I think we have time for one question. Ooh, the size of the filter. The size of the filter, that's a great question. It's on the filter. So go ahead and pull the filter out, and it's gonna say on the side, it is a 12 by 25 by 1. 12 by 25 by 1. Go and find that on Amazon and add that to your subscribe and save for your units. And if you have a refrigerated unit, please go and check the grate underneath. If it is all caked up, you are going to have a problem. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, well, definitely tomorrow. Definitely. So great. Thank you so much for being here today. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to reach out. We are in the factory for the next 3 days, but I sit in the back and answer emails while he does all the work.
She does all the work.
Don't listen to him.
I answer emails.
Have a great day, folks. We really love that you joined us today, and we will be sending a copy of the recording with an hour of continuing education credits for your time today. Thanks so much.
Be sure to contact us. Emails and phone calls are free if you have issues or questions.
Absolutely. Have a great day, and thanks for joining us live in Des Moines, Iowa.
Okay. The Winter Group.
Bye.